fact, I think Liz, you turned 39, correct? So we have a special dessert. Is the dessert coming out? All right, Liz, come on. Come on to the front.
I am only 69.
All right, please join me in singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Liz. Happy birthday to you. And now we have a special surprise. All right. I told you that we had a surprise for you. That was something. You know, I almost wore that outfit, so I'm glad I didn't. Okay, for those of you who don't know, the Stocktonian of the Year is selected each year by a 9-person committee. And it was chosen to be 9, so you have an odd number, so there's no chance of a tie. And the selection committee is made up of 3 past Stocktonians, 3 people from the Realtors, as well as 3 people from the Chamber of Commerce. And this year's selection committee, the past Stocktonians, we had Ort Loftus, who was the Stocktonian of the Year, 1969. He is also the oldest living Stocktonian. So unfortunately, yeah, let's hear it for Ort. Unfortunately, Ort couldn't be with us this evening. Also, Bob Kavanaugh, who was Stocktonian of the Year, 1996. Let's hear it for Bob. And finally, Tim Ulmer, the Stocktonian of the Year, 2014. Okay, representing the Realtors, we have Joe Dietrich, who I mentioned is a past president of the Stockton Board of Realtors, I think, at the time. Also, Mercy Dumo from Keller Williams Realty. And finally, Michael Blauer, past president, and also from Groupie Real Estate. And then our chamber members, we had Justin Redmond, Vice President of Wholesale Relationship Manager at F&M Bank. We also had Victor Randolph, Sales Executive at Never Boring. And finally, Brian Petrovec, the CEO of the Stockton Heat Hockey Club. And now I'd like to recognize the Stocktonian Event Committee. First of all, we have Corey Stewart, who's the office manager at Gem Mortgage. And this is like a full-time job for them for like the last couple of months. Also, we have Bonnie McAtee, she's a retired critical care nurse. Where's Bonnie? Oh, there she is. And last but certainly not least, Colleen Stewart, who is the branch manager of Gem Mortgage. This, believe it or not, is her 29th year as chairman of this event. And looking at her, she must have started when she was like 10. I mean, so anyway, let's hear it for the event committee once more. You guys, everything you do is just amazing. We also have honorary committee members, Lorraine Huey from the Chinese Cultural Society of Stockton. Val Akoba from the Chinese Benevolent Association. And finally, committee member Tim Quinn from the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce. Now, it's an interesting history. Some of you may not know how this event came about. It was actually back in 1954, the Stockton Board of Realtors at the time hired Marion Jacob to do some PR for the association, or the board as they called it at the time, and she came up with the idea of recognizing one specific Stocktonian that was outstanding. And it was actually called the Mr. Stockton Award. And so then, yeah, the Mr. Stockton Award. But then in 1971, the recipient was Mrs. Pearl West. So it was decided that they should change the name because that probably didn't work. So that, ever since then, we've had the Stocktonian of the Year. In fact, as a little fun fact, the last Mr. Stockton was Ort Loftus. So he was Mr. Stockton 1969. And then ever since then, it's been the Stocktonian of the Year. So here we are on our 64th go-around. So let's introduce some of our past Stocktonians that we have here in the room with us. From 1996, we have Bob Kavanaugh. And from 2006, a man that I'm glad finally found his seat, Doug Wilhoit. From 2011, Becky Meisner. From 2014, somebody get his picture quick, Tim Ulmer. From 2015, Mel Corin. And finally, our most recent, 2016, Fred Weibel. And now I'd like to take a moment to recognize the past Stocktonians that we lost this past year. Pearl West, who I just mentioned, she was our Stocktonian of the Year in 1970. Eugene Castle, he was our Stocktonian of the Year in 1972. And Bob Foy was our Stocktonian in 2009. Also, I'd like to mention, even though he wasn't a Stocktonian, he was a member of the Stocktonian event committee for over 25 years, Dale Gray. So if you would please join me let's hear it for all of them. So please join me in a moment of silence for all of them. Thank you. Okay, before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Liz. As I'm sure most of you already know, Liz is quite amazing at 39 years young. They put a different number. Somebody must have made a mistake there. Anybody who knows Liz can attest to the fact that she runs circles around most people. And the amount of time and energy she puts into supporting the community is just nothing short of amazing. In fact, there are so many organizations she's affiliated with, the event committee really had a hard time limiting who could speak. And if we'd have gone with everybody, this event, which I think already might be going a little late, would probably put us well into tomorrow. So without any further ado, we're going to get that started. So let's get this thing started. Another little surprise. Everybody, if you'd like to, you can take one of these red envelopes and put some money in it and put it in the lion's mouth for luck and prosperity. Once again, if you didn't hear me, you can put money in the red envelope and put it in the tiger's mouth. So now we're going to move on. We have, if we get the staff to dim the lights. Can we get the staff to dim the lights, please? For yet another surprise.
Then she disarms you with her quick wit and bold and sassy humor. Thank you for your mentorship. You are a role model for young and old alike. Congratulations.
My name is Bob Appler. I'm with the Veterans of War and War. I also help disabled American veterans in Stocktonian. I met Elizabeth back in 2011 when we were working on the homeless here in Stockton, and we needed a place to put furniture. Elizabeth, being connected with the port, got us a warehouse, and ever since then, she's been working with us veterans in all kinds of projects. We're doubly blessed to have Elizabeth Blanchard with us because she's a member of the VFW, a member of the American Legion, and she was chairman and president of DAV Charities for 2 years. This is an organization that helps local veterans in need. We call her the Energizer Bunny. She belongs to about 5 or 6 different organizations, and she's always on the move. She can never stand still for more than 10 or 15 minutes. She's always given 100% of the effort. She has raised millions of dollars for scholarship programs, and she's known throughout the veteran community as a person to go to when we need help. One thing about Elizabeth that we all like, veterans take care of veterans, and although Elizabeth is not a veteran, we consider her one of our own, even as she married a Marine.
I'm Sarah Blanchard with Stockton Republican Women. Liz, you sure bring double happiness to everyone in our organization. You are, you have such a warm attitude about everything, and it's very positive, and you don't just talk. You also are a cheerful doer. You have organized fundraisers for our club that were very successful. You've helped us register voters, many voters over the years, and you've been serving for several years on our college scholarship committee. Basically, Liz, when you are at any of our Republican Women events, we're just going to have more fun. You are such a giver, a loyal giver to our community. Stockton just wouldn't be Stockton without you.
I'm the co-founder of the Eleanor Project, and I'm happy to celebrate Liz Blanchard today. What she brought to our organization was an immediate yes. The Eleanor Project organizes events and opportunities for women to get together to support one another and promote each other in their careers and in their philanthropic endeavors. And we had an event called Changers where we asked women in their 70s and 80s to come and share their life stories. These were women who had contributed to the community. So as soon as we approached Liz, she gave us an immediate yes. And I think that's the first thing that I want to share about her is she's the kind of person who says yes, and what else can I do for you? So in her presentation on this panel at our Chambers event, she shared her story about her career decisions and what motivated her to become involved in the community. And the things that you took away, that we all took away from hearing her story, was this incredible energy. There's a buoyance about Liz that is really sustaining. She's the kind of woman who gives and gives. She has this vision for the community, and she jumps right in. And so she has this infectious energy about her. So her double happiness theme is really, it comes to her so natural. There's an infectiousness about her that is so delightful. You want to be a part of whatever she's involved in, because you just know not only will it be successful, but it's going to be a good time too.
In every story, there's a lesson to be learned. It is the storyteller's responsibility to point this out. The lesson today is not let your past determine your future. Live your life by providing happiness, and it will double in your return. Now a message to Liz.
get up, Liz, and say nice things about you. So we're going to get right onto that. Our first speaker will be Bob Appler. And Chaplain Bob is an Army veteran. He served in the 4th Infantry in 1968 and 1969 in Vietnam. He currently serves with the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 52 and is active with many veterans' causes. Let's hear it for Bob.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today with Dr. Elizabeth Blanchard. Elizabeth Blanchard has done more for the veterans community than anybody I know. As veterans, we use the word duty, honor, and selfless service, which is expected of us, but it's hard to find these traits in somebody that's not a veteran. In 2010, Congress passed a bill to end homelessness in the veteran community, but had no plan to implement that. DAV Charities of San Joaquin County, they had a system in place to help needy veterans, but lacked the space and the manpower. Lanny Bauer of DAV, I know he's out there, and he is empty, and Tino Adami knew what it meant to get veterans off the street and went to Dr. Blanchard because she was strong in the veteran community. They took this plan to the Port of Stockton, and with the help of Elizabeth Blanchard, Stockton Port donated 2,500 square foot of warehouse space for collecting furniture for needy veterans. To date, DAV Charities, American Legion, VFW, Catholic Charities, and United Way, in a combined effort, has helped to provide more than 288 veterans with a new start in life. There's many kinds of footprints we can leave on this earth and with people. Elizabeth, you're leaving a very big footprint on Stockton. Tia, knee. Thank you.
Okay, next up, our next speaker will be the chairman of the Port of Stockton Commission, and that is Sylvester Aguilar. And as Sylvester comes up, I'd like to issue a little bit of a correction. I know when the large vessel went behind us, my wife informed me I referred to it as a big boat. Apparently that was a big ship. Thank you, Sylvester.
Got a couple more claps. I appreciate my cousins coming on the last minute like that. Well, it's really hard to say a lot of things about our immediate past chair. I know that they've seen some videos and a lot of things in the organizations that she's with, but it was February 2nd, 1933, when the port took in its first ship. It was the Daisy Gray, and Doug Wilhoit tied it to the dock when we have a lot of history in the room. But anyway, I bring that up because after 85 years, there's a lot of ups and downs, but I have to tell you that, Dr. Blanchard was the chair of the commission. We had a record year in 2017. And she couldn't just simply break the record by one ship. We had 268 ships, which represented 268 ships, and it represented 36 more than our last record. It kept Doug very busy. And our tonnage was 4.7 million tons of cargo, which was 1 million tons more than what we had before. So I know that folks have said how she's the pink bunny and go, 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 and everything else. I'm sure many of you have traveled with her. She is very hard to keep up with, and she's very hard to find because of her stature, but she does wear the brightest color hats I've ever seen, and we really enjoy traveling together and keeping each other out of trouble. She has been on the Port Commission since 2008, and she's tirelessly joined every committee that's possible. As a matter of fact, we have the American Association of Port Authorities, where she's the president of, and has been for a couple of years. And she actually is bringing the conference to Stockton, which will be here in July 15th. So. And you've heard about the veterans, and I know they honored her with a prestigious award at the last dinner. I was very thankful to have been able to be a part of that as well. I thought the money dance was going to start again. We do our money dance a lot different, by the way. So I just on behalf of the commissioners, my fellow commissioners, the port director, and the staff that works very, very hard, and all of our laborers, we would just like to say thank you so much and congratulations for all of your energy and the many things that you do in our community and the many things that you've done for the port. So congratulations.
Thank you, Port Commissioners. And I want to tell you what Victor Mao calls me, PITA, P-I-T-A. You know what it stands for? Pain in the...
Our next speaker will be Dr. Al Louie, the president of the Chinese Benevolent Association. Let's hear it for Dr. Al.
Good evening, everybody. And Liz, good evening to you, and double happiness to you, too. Liz, you know, Dr. Elizabeth Yip Lee Blanchard, Stocktonian of 2017. How do you feel tonight?
Well, I wish I was doing the lion dance so I can get the money.
Well, it must be fantastic. Well, Lee, you know, it's a good season for you. Happy birthday, Stocktonian of the Year, and also, happy this lion dancer, happy Chinese New Year, coming up in a couple of weeks. So happy New Year to you. Well, not only that, Valentine's is coming in, and there's a lot of love too. So the color and the ambience there is really amazing, isn't it? Now we get you to show all to you what a little Asian flavor is like, Chinese. But anyway, Liz, I am here to represent the Chinese Benevolent Association, which is the lead organization. In behalf of the Chinese community, representing 17 family associations and all the other service organizations that we do for the community. That includes CCSS, that gives the festival, annual festival, and the parade. And that has been a big, one of the big shows of our time. But then we also represents the Jinhua Association, which serves the senior people. And also we have the Kuan Yin Senior Family Housing. But there's a lot more. I won't go on tonight. But anyway, I want to tell you, Liz, that we have a great representation of the Chinese community association members here. Not all of them are here, but a lot of the presidents are here. And if you don't mind, I'm going to introduce. I know you're going to keep track. Yeah. So as I announce your name, will you please stand up? Representing the Chinese Benevolent Association, my vice president. Oh, by the way, CBA is going to have a meeting this Friday, and we're entertaining the idea of having a co-president. Guess who? Liz. Well, anyway, we have our vice president, Larry Lowe. Will you please stand up? So we're really going here, Larry. Thank you. Then we have the Chinese Cultural Society co-presidents, Laureen Hui. and your honoree, Liz Blanchard. We have the Jinhua senior citizen, President Judy Hong. Judy, where are you? Okay. Then we have the Chinese Youth Club's Francis Law. Francis? Thank you. Representing the Beijing Tong Chinese Business Association is President Rosalind Wong. Rosalind, you here? Hi, Rosalind. Representing the G Duck Family Association is President Ricky Chow. He was also Vice President of CBA. The Lee Family Association President Frank Lee. The Mar Association President Benny Marchand. Thanks, Benny. The Sir Yun Benham Association President Gene Fong. Oh, he just had to leave with education, but he was here. Gene was here. Okay, keeping track. The Wong Family Association, Yi Hen Wong. Okay. You know, now Liz, what I'm going to say is only a few words more because everybody knows about you now, all about you. So I'm just going to add a few more how I personally saw you. I only met Liz about a year and a half working with him for CBAs. And it was, it's hard to say no to Liz. I guess you want to gather that. Well, some of the things I assess about Liz is that, she belongs to everything. She's just ubiquitous. She's everywhere. And sometimes I wonder how she does this. Sometimes I would be having a dinner meeting with her, of course. And next thing you know, look at her watch. I gotta go to the next dinner meeting. So she's constantly doing that. When we were having a board meeting, and then she would hop up and go into this, down at the waterfront. I have to do some type of ceremony there, and then she dashes right back to the meeting. So Liz, I just want to ask, where do you get all this energy? Anyway. You know, she's hopping around meeting to meeting, and she still gets speeding tickets. And I just want to know, what's her secret? By the way, are you writing a book, How to Be a Wonder Woman? You're amazing. Well, anyway, Liz, we all love you. We are proud of you to be the first Asian Stocktonian after 64 years? Is that correct? So, we love you. Not only being Stocktonian of the year, but to be the first Asian woman is really amazing. So our community here, the Chinese community, is so proud of you. We love you. And so you're here, and I would like to present you something just to remind you of this great evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Al Louie, thank you for those brief remarks. Okay, next up, our final speakers, we have Liz's two sons with us. We have Richard Lee and Dr. Lester Lee.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for participating. It means a great deal to my mom. Needless to say, we are extremely proud. You know, my mother, looking at her now, it's hard to believe that she came to San Francisco as a small child on a boat, worked her way through San Francisco, married young, came to Stockton, worked her way through getting a bachelorette, a master's, and finally her doctorate, all the while raising us. Well, Mom, luckily we were pretty easy to raise. Our mom has always been very passionate about community service and helping others, especially going back to her roots, the Chinese community, and her vital passion of helping those in our armed forces, men and women. I've enjoyed listening to all the stories that, and the testimonials that you've given. Very heartwarming, and it's true. It's hard to keep up with her. I can't even keep up with it. So I just want to say to you, Mom, we love you. We're extremely proud of you. Keep the passion, keep fighting the good fight, and look around. You're loved and appreciated.
They lie.
Well, I'm the younger son. I'm Lester. And I didn't realize my mom was that busy, actually. It's a very, very impressive what was presented in the past couple hours. And I honestly didn't realize you did all that. Amazingly, raising 3 children, too, while, as my brother had mentioned, going through undergrad, graduate, doctoral programs, and still had time to share that love, the passion, support, inspiration, supervision. Thank you, Mom. So I don't have more to say other than what my brother had mentioned. And yes, she is extremely passionate about her community, San Joaquin County, Stockton, the port. And whenever we have discussion, which is very common, it is usually about Stockton communities and service. And after a while, I have to, Mom, you're talking to one of your sons, so let's talk about family, love. But congratulations.
This is a tiger mom, you know.
Oh, and also, the boat that she came in, a small boat, she had owning it.
All right, let's hear it for Liz's sons. All right, now we have numerous agencies here with us this evening, representatives that are going to come up and have special presentations for Liz. So I think starting off with Congressman McNerney's office, we've got Gary Prost. Gary.
Great. Well, I should have worn my red tie. You know, in the Navy, they say 2% always don't get there's always 2% that don't get the word, right? I guess you too. So it's really an honor to be here. And I tell you something, if the House wasn't in session right now, the congressman would be here himself for this. I guarantee you, he would have jumped at this. So I'm here because Dr. Blanchard has been a fixture in our office, I think, just about since we started. She's been maintaining very close contact, helped us out on a lot of veteran stuff. She sits on our Academy Nominations Committee, so we take some of the best, brightest kids out of the district, and young adults, really, seniors in high school. Liz helps interview them with our committee to figure out which ones, what our rankings are. We rank from principal nominee to and ranked alternates. So really tough job because we have a lot of very bright candidates to sort through. And we're looking for the people who are going to make the best officers. And that's, Liz has actually a lot of experience with that, with knowing what a good officer looks like. So we wanted to present her with a certificate of special congressional recognition. This is presented to Dr. Elizabeth Yipley Blanchard in recognition of being honored as Stocktonian of the Year by the Stockton Council of the Central Valley Association of Realtors and the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce. I applaud your longstanding commitment and dedicated service to our community. February 7, 2018, Jerry McNerney, Member of Congress. So, great pleasure.
some pictures here.
Okay, next up, representing the state senator's office. Unfortunately, Kathleen Galgiani had to leave, but she left with us Marion Norris, who is also a realtor. Let's hear from Marion.
All the senators left. Good evening, I'm Marion Norris. I'm District Director for Senator Galgiani. Liz, you have a couple of senators that wanted to represent tonight and tell you how much that you're appreciated and loved. But I want to tell you a story that many of you may or may not know, but I was raised by my grandmother, who obviously is much older than you. But she, no, she's Tiger Mom. And what people don't always appreciate about Asian women is that they have to trick their husbands in believing that they're the king, and which the Chinese women run the house, the money, the mail, and the food. So the husbands don't really do anything. But I think that's what makes the Asian women so strong and able to do more than any other woman on the face of the earth, is because they think that there's 27 hours in the day, and so they work like there's 30. And because of that, Liz, you've been the first for so many things, but more importantly, you've inspired other women to step up to the plate. And in this time of women, the year of the woman, you've been living the year of the woman your whole life. And that is so inspirational to me as an Asian woman. So on behalf of Patricia Bates, California Senate 36th District, she is giving you this certificate of recognition because you are so wonderful.
Thank you.
On behalf of Senator Galgiani and Assemblywoman Talamantes Eggman, we have a certificate of recognition from the California State Legislature
Thank you.
for all your work.
Thank you.
And then, because the Senate does everything on time,
Really?
yeah, I have this faux resolution that will eventually have your name on it with all your accomplishments. Because not even the Senate can keep up with Elizabeth Blanchard. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next from the San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors, we have Bob Elliott.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bob Elliott, County Supervisor, District 5, and currently Chairman of the Board. And I'm proud to be here tonight with my colleagues from District 1, Supervisor Villapudua, and from District 3, Supervisor Patty. It's a real honor for us to be here representing the Board of Supervisors tonight as we recognize the many contributions that Liz Blanchard has made to our communities. Now, for those of you who tried to read the description of Liz that's inside the front cover of the program tonight, it's extremely small print, but I did my best to read that, and I got as far at least as the first sentence, and I think that is absolutely true, because it says to meet Dr. Blanchard is to meet a new friend named Liz, and that really that really describes Liz. I think everyone in this room has had their lives touched in some manner by Dr. Blanchard over the years, and I'm confident that everyone here calls Liz their friend. So it's a special pleasure. It's a special pleasure tonight to present this plaque to Dr. Elizabeth Yip Lee Blanchard, 2017 Stocktonian of the Year. Your contributions to the city of Stockton and its citizens are an inspiration to all. We thank you for your remarkable community service. Congratulations from the San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors. Thank you, Liz.
shop this, don't worry.
I didn't give that black eye to this guy.
Let me just say something real quick. Everybody here, I consider Liz very lucky to consider her a friend, and everybody here in this room would as well. And to her sons that you're just now finding out all that she's doing, you need to come to town more often to spend time with your mother.
All right, Tom, I hope the photographer's got your good side. Okay, next. Representing the city of Stockton, let's see. I guess a former council member will have to suffice. So, on behalf, certificate of recognition hereby presented to Dr. Elizabeth Yip Lee Blanchard as the recipient of the 2017 Stocktonian of the Year Award. Congratulations upon receiving this great honor and best wishes for continued success. Presented on behalf of the Stockton City Council on the 7th day of February, 2018. Okay, and I think we still have a couple more things. We also have from the Central Valley Asian American Chamber of Commerce. Do we have a representative?
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Lau. I'm here on behalf of the Central Valley Asian American Chamber of Commerce, and we just have a few token of our esteem, appreciation, and love for Dr. Elizabeth Blanchard. I've always admired Dr. Blanchard from afar for many years, and I'm very fortunate and very privileged that I've had the honor to work alongside her and to learn from her great leadership. She's been a leader in the community, a leader in business, and most importantly, a leader in education. And she has shown us that women can indeed do anything and break the bamboo ceiling. We have a presentation of orchids for Liz because we know of her great love for flowers. And also, orchids are known for their exotic elegance, which Liz is truly an elegant woman, but it's also a symbol of love, beauty, and strength. And we see Liz' love, beauty, and strength manifested in her great service and dedication to our community. And we are so thankful for your leadership and your inspiration in our community. I'm so glad that I could call you friend.
Thank you.
And learn from your leadership and mentorship.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Leslie Edmond. Dear Dr. Blanchard, congratulations from your CVA-CC family on this very auspicious evening for you and all of Stockton. I met you in 2014. I can't believe it wasn't that long ago, actually. But what I can tell you is that she said, just call me Liz. And that's what I love about you, Liz. You're so humble and down to earth, easy to follow. You are the leader's leader. You walk the walk, no, you run. And you talk the talk. Yes, we do appreciate your candidness. You don't hold anything back. You say it, you tell it like it is, but you always do it with a dazzling smile. You always brighten a room at any event or any room you enter, but know that tonight the spotlight is on you. I can personally say that I've always looked for somebody who I could follow, an Asian woman leader, a mentor, somebody who represents and can all the things that all Asian women want to do, but you know, sometimes we just can't get out there. We don't have that person out there who can help us. She can lift us up and has done that. So Liz, what we have for you is we have a framed picture, and this is one of our treasured moments together. You were a recipient at our inaugural Women's Leadership event, Breaking the Bamboo Ceiling, and thank you for this evening as you just bust through another ceiling. Thank you, and we wish you double happiness. We love you.
You know, Cynthia at one time had asked me to be her mentor about 5 years ago. So when I told her, well, you have to do everything I wanted you to do, she said, hell no.
All right, so we had this table up here where all the presentations and the things were dropped off, and we actually have like some other things, and we're not quite sure who they're from, but I'm pretty sure they're for you. So I'd like to present this, as well as this. Would anybody like to claim these? Yeah, there's money there.
Rosalind from Bingham.
From Roslyn.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this envelope.
Thank you.
So who's this from? Does anybody like to claim that? Oh, no, I wonder what's in it.
It's a check for $1 million.
Here, let's see.
Congratulations. We're proud of you. And from Stan and Chris Chan, my godson, thank you. Thank you.
All right, now we've gotten to the point of the evening where we're going to bring up the presenter who is going to present Liz with her award. And Victor Mao from the Port of Stockton Commissioner will be our presenter. He is a former San Joaquin County Supervisor, the former City of Stockton Vice Mayor, as well as a former City of Stockton Council Member. He will be now presenting to his friend, what was it, PETA?
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure and it is my honor and to thank the Central Valley Realtor Association as well as the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce to allow me to present to Liz Blanchard this award. We in the Chinese community have been part of the city of Stockton since 1849. We were there in the history of the city that has begun in 1849, incorporated in 1850. So as a part of the Chinese, we have been a big player and part of our history. Liz? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to say. As a member of the Chinese community that goes back to 1849, I can't tell you how proud we are of your accomplishment, your devotion and commitment to the city of Stockton and San Joaquin County. It is, you know, I've known her for too long, I think. And as you well know, we know her as Liz, we know her as Betty, we know her as Commissioner, and I know her as PETA. But I think that as we look around, we see a lot of our Chinese community here, and I cannot tell you how proud we are of your accomplishment, your dedication, your devotion to our community, and we cannot thank you more for being a role model for all of us. So Liz, on behalf of myself, my family, and the Port of Stockton, I think, in many ways. Congratulations to a job well done, well deserved, and we can't say more. And thank you to the Central Valley Association of Realtors, the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce, for recognizing Elizabeth Blanchard for a job well done. She's a model, she is a role model for all of us, and she represents what a good citizen should be.
Now I'd like to ask Diane Vigil to place the pin on you. You get your Stocktonian of the Year pin. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to hear from the Stocktonian of the Year, Dr. Elizabeth Blanchard.
I thank you. You know, first I want to thank you, the Stockton Chamber, the Stockton Realtors, and the Stocktonians of the past years. I really feel honored. I know you all are ready, tired and ready to go home, so you're going to have to sit at least, because my grandson made me the speech, and I told him I would deliver it. So, isn't it wonderful what they've done for this event? Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Corey. And thank you, Colleen. They've been just wonderful. This has really been a surprise, but I wish I had been one of the dragon dancers because you guys were very generous. I accept this honor. I really accept this honor on behalf of everyone in this room because you're all instrumental in what Stockton is to me and to many families. So you all deserve to be Stocktonians of the Year along with us. And thank you all for all you've done and the organizations that do it. I'd like to thank also my port commissioners, the director, who is very tolerant of the PETA, And remember, I'm the only female, on the board, so when I get in there, he'll look and say, oh, gee, here she comes, So, directors, stand up so I can show them how patient a man you are and how wonderful you are. Thank you. And the chairman of the board, Sylvester, has been very generous and kind. And he gives me a lot of time when I want to ask a question. And he'll look and say, are you through? And I'll smile and say, not yet. And he'll say, hurry up. But he's been wonderful and very kind. And I want to give a special thanks to Victor Mao, because when he was chairman of the board, he was instrumental in helping me be appointed to the board, even though he called me Peter. But anyway, Victor, it's a good name. I'm living up to it. I want to thank my many friends, and all of you have been so supportive through the years. I truly appreciate and feel honored and extremely humble that you give time and spend time with me. And I want to also talk to the veterans. You all have given so much. I like to see all the veterans that have served stand up so we can thank you. Come on, stand up if you serve. Thank you. I've been with my family for so many years that I was shocked to hear what my sons had to say because, I always beat them up. I'm a tiger mom. I didn't reason with them. I beat them up. So you can ask Lester. He took the most beating because he was the most active one, And every time I got frustrated, I say, Lester, where are you? And I appreciate, I'm a great grandmother now. I'd like to introduce my grandson, Matthew, stand up. He's a brand new father. And he wrote my speech, so I have to deliver it, right? My other grandson, who works for Google, Christopher Willardorf. And he takes care of my computer. And when I get in trouble, Will Hart sends me these horny jokes, once in a while. And my grandson says, Mom, you got to watch out. Google's watching your computer. And my granddaughter, who I'm real proud of, she owns a Great Dane, so they couldn't get on a plane. So she drove from Brooklyn to Stockton to be here. Stand up. But I'll tell you who's the main driver, though. It wasn't she, but her fiancé. I want to introduce her fiancé, Ezra Wang. Ezra. And when I was teaching at Delta, I really liked working with students. And you never know how students turn out. But one turned out so good. Now she brings me food once a month to make sure I'm okay. So I've adopted her as my daughter, Lisa from Oakland. Lisa, stand up. I've had the privilege of calling Stockton my home. Well, you know how many years, 70 years. And I was blessed to have had 2 men, wonderful men in my life. Lawrence Lee, father of my children, and Joe Blanchard, past president of Delta College. No more, 2's enough. So, but you know what? If I should ever get married again, I'm going to ask Corey to operate my party. She's done such a good job. I've seen Stockton grow from a small town with a Navy outpost because Joe Blanchard was a colonel of the Marines, so we were spending lots of time at the Navy post there. Marines love to drink. And in fact, the Marines used to tell me when they're in war, they get the booze and they get the women. That's a Marine. Sorry, Navy. Sorry, Army. But you know what? I watch also how San Joaquin College has become one of the best colleges in the United States. In fact, they are competing for the Aspen Award. Right, Kathy? Stand up, Kathy. When will you know if you get the Aspen Award? It'll be a while, but we will get it. Yes. So congratulations. And I also watch College of Pacific grow into a university that's international now. They have law, dental, that's right. My ex-son-in-law, where are you? Ron Willardorf. He's trying to stay out of trouble. But anyway, he went to dental school. And so he's one of your finest dentists, as good as Dr. Al Louis. So those two have been good, right? In my humble life, I've learned to respect and earn a lot from C.C. Yin, founder of APAPA. Can I have the APAPA people stand up? We can recognize you. They are very loyal people that have given lots to help young people. They concentrate on young people. And I've learned a lot from Al Louis. I learned a lot from Rosalind Wong, who gave me, she gave me this. Guess what? There's money in those. I didn't realize that. So this is the one I'm going to take home. And I learned a lot also from Laureen Huey. She never stops. She's as bad as I am, maybe worse. And Colleen Lee, who takes care of the books. She takes care of the scholarship. And I also learned a lot from Eva Lowe. Where's Eva? Is Eva still here? Eva, stand up. So they can stand up, Eva. And her son, Brian. Eva calls me and says, are you okay? I said, I'm not. She said, what can I bring you? I said, money. Okay. So I'm not really. Chinese, Chinese is all about money. Right, Chinese? The Chinese are coming. I learned also that trust is gained from educators like Virginia Navarro. Where's in Virginia? My system went off. Virginia? Virginia, where are you? Virginia, she's an educator and she performs dances for the public and she organizes dancer and she gets scholarships. Guess you was that. She gets buses to go to the casinos. And she makes thousands. Stupid people like me, go on to those buses. But also I have special friend, Diane Springer. Are you still here, Diane? Stand up, Diane. And Nancy Boone is dancing here. Anyway, she's a staunch Republican, by the way. So when she heard about me working a lot with the Democrats, she says, why are you doing it? I said, I don't care what party you are as long as I get the money for scholarships, right? I also earned trust. I gained this from all my friends, all of you here. Virginia Camacho, where are you? Virginia, stand up. She's a political consultant. If you want to win a race, you go to Virginia, right? Right, but you do have to pay her. And Mary Bava. Is Mary Bava somewhere? There's Mary. Yeah, I learned a lot from Mary when we worked with the Women's Center. She said, Liz, you never stop asking people for money. You keep asking. And it's for the Women's Center and the youth people. And of course, Bob Appler and Donna. I could never have done as much as I've done without their support. And I also would like to share with you some of the experience I had when I was young. My grandson says, Grandma, don't do it. So I'm going to just do one. I'm on my own. Chinese culture is very traditional. So when I went to high school as a freshman in San Francisco, you had to take showers every day after PE, right? And all these naked women running around, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to run around naked. So the PE teacher says, get in there. I said, no, I'm not going to take a shower. He said, you're going to get an F single day if you don't take a shower. Well, guess what? I flunked PE. Can you believe who can flunk PE? Anybody in here flunk PE? One. She flunked PE. Well, she's one of the Peters. And there's no substitute for hard work. Jane Radish, where are you, Janie? There's Jane. Stand up, Janie. Janie and Harry Walker. These two people with the sister city, they never give up. They never take no for an answer. And they are working internationally to show off Stockton. So thank you, Janie and Harry. I appreciate all these people. Growing up in Stockton has taught me much about people, but more so it has taught about me. And it's given me a full life, beautiful friendships, and a family that I will forever be thankful. Now, the people who appear on here giving me, such a bad time about being a good person, they lie. So, Dave, Abil, thank you. I appreciate it. Bella Cuba, all the people, I truly appreciate your support all these years. And finally, I learned something that, where is it? Corey, I want you to remember this one. You know what that stands for? It's know when to be patient and know why you're patient as a wisdom. Thank you all for being here. I love you.
Wow, I tell you, tonight, between the Chinese opera singer, the lion dancers, and hearing about Doug Wilhoit sending Liz emails with horny jokes, I believe it was truly a night to remember. And this night wouldn't have happened without the assistance of several people I'd like to recognize, and then I promise we'll get you out of here. Special thanks to Stephen Pacheco from Omega Vineyards Winery for graciously donating all the wine this evening. The Central Valley Association of Realtors for printing the programs. The VFW Post 8358 Lion Dancers. Michael Jew for his opera singing talents. Food for Less for the tangerines. Tim Ulmer of Ulmer Photo for the photography and mounted photos. John and Jess Photography for the videography and photography. Liz's grandson, Chris Willadall for the photo to sign. So don't forget to sign the photo if you haven't. The Rotary Club of Stockton for the use of their projector and screen. Almost done. The Stockton Golf and Country Club. How about that food? Wonderful. Lauren Huey for the decorative red envelopes and desserts. Go ahead and just leave those on the table. So please leave the red envelopes and the volunteer cards on the table. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you for being here this night to help celebrate Liz. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you so much for coming.